Hey everyone, my name is Sean Cecil from the Oculus Institute, and today I'm going to teach you a life hack for solving problems. Okay, so let's say you have a problem in front of you, something that you're trying to figure out. What do? Most people will go and they'll make a list of, all the pros and cons, or they'll, lay out their different options, or they'll say, well, what if I do this? What if I do this? All of those things are surface level, external practical decision-making things. And that's how most people solve problems. And sometimes that works, right? But sometimes what happens is you end up in a situation where, there are too many arguments on both sides. And then you fall into analysis paralysis because you can't make up your mind because your pros and cons list are both too long. And it's like, well, if I choose this, then I don't get this. And if I choose this, then I don't get this, right? If you're going down the what if path, then you're like, oh, well, I don't like that one. Oh, I don't like that one. Oh, I don't like that one. You just keep coming up with more and more and more what ifs, and none of them are the right answer. All those kinds of things happen if you're operating from a place of stress and attachment and all this kind of stuff. Then you're going to create the scope for, I don't want that, right? And there's always going to be some drawback, because if it was just so blindingly simple that there were no drawbacks, you already would have done it, right? So if you're really trying to solve a problem, you have to make sure that you're entering into it with the right frame of mind. And this is something that was actually life-changing for me. I remember I had a coach a while back, and he said, Sean, your order of solving problems is all reversed. Because what happens is you're saying, hey, if I solve the external problem, then I'll be happy. He says, that doesn't work. What you do is you first be happy, and then you solve the external problem. And it seemed, at first I was like, wait a minute, this is reversed, like what's going on here? But as I got older and as I gained more experience, I realized that he's absolutely 100% right. The key to solving problems is not to start externally, it's to start internally. Figure out where is your attachment, right? Where you're like, hey, listen, I can't bear if this happens, right? Deal with those attachments. Learn to accept, right, the different possible outcomes. Deal with the stresses, with the fears, with the guilts, with whatever the emotional tangles are around this problem. Deal with all of that first, if at all possible. I mean, obviously there are some times where you have to make a decision, like right on the spot or that day, and you may not have the time to do this, but if at all possible, right, get as much internal work done before you make the decision as you possibly can, right? That doesn't mean push it off forever and don't do the internal work. That's just procrastination. But if you sit down and you spend a good solid day, or even an hour or two, right, really sorting through the emotional components of this without trying to solve the problem at all, right, that gives you the chance to remove a lot of that emotional charge. And then what that does is your brain, instead of being in, stressed out mode, is now in higher thinking. So you're able to perceive more options. You're able to make better decisions, right? You don't get caught up in the fear of analysis paralysis. You're in a situation where your creative mind, what's called divergent thinking, just doesn't work when you're stressed, right? Creativity just goes to zero under stress. This is something they've proven through many psychological studies. But so if you deal with all that emotional stuff first, then you're gonna have the creativity to come up with something outside of the box. You're gonna have the ability to see things from a different angle. If it's something dealing with other people, you're gonna have the ability to see it from their point of view because your social horizons are expanded. You're gonna have the ability to make, like long-term decisions. You're gonna have longer time horizons. All the things I've talked about in my earlier videos about binary thinking, time horizons, creativity, social horizons, all of these things now come together. But the simple life hack that solves all of this is dealing with all of the emotional tangles first, and only then moving to solving the external problem, right? And in doing that, you allow yourself to make that decision from the best version of yourself, right? And that ultimately, that's why you're stuck in analysis paralysis, because you're letting the stressed, foolish, confused, less intelligent version of yourself try to grapple with that problem. Right? If you had, a battle, you wouldn't want to go into battle after 6 months of eating McDonald's and no exercise, right? You're screwed, right? You would want to go into battle after 6 months of training and, eating healthy, right? And this is the thing, is if you allow yourself, this is something that doesn't even require 6 months, right? It requires, maybe an hour, maybe less, maybe 2 hours, right? But it allows you to go into that decision that you're struggling with, into that problem, as the best version of yourself, right? So guys, that's a simple life hack. Internal emotional tangles first, external problem solving second. Before you go, I've got a free gift for you. So if you found this video valuable, if it helped you see the world in a new way, and you're interested in building a career that's going to bring you both personal fulfillment and financial prosperity, then I've got a free presentation for you to help you do just that. So if you go to the link below, it's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. That's www.oculusinstitute.com/workshop. Then it'll take you to a registration for a free presentation. It's about 50 minutes long, that's 50, and it's gonna give you the step-by-step process to building your dream career. See you there.